Good morning and welcome to Michigan Farm and Garden. I'm Jody Pollock-Newsome and I'm your host. On the show this morning, we're going to talk a little bit about the cherry crop. We're also going to start our celebration of Farm Market Month, and we're going to talk about Saskatoon berries. Stay tuned. And welcome back. Good morning and welcome to Michigan Farm and Garden. Folks, certainly this time of year, there's a lot going on, a lot of different activities in agriculture, especially when we look at the fruit side. It seems like everything is in full swing. So we're going to share lots of good information with you this morning. My first guest is Phil Corson. He is with the Cherry Marketing Institute, and he's here this year because we have a crop to talk about. If you remember last year with the weather, things were really tough for a lot of our fruit crops, a lot of our other crops, but especially our fruit. So he's back this year and we're going to talk about the crop, what we can expect, and we're also going to talk about the Cherry Festival that just happened and give you a little bit of information there. Then we're going to kind of work on our celebration and move into farm markets and Farm Market Month. Certainly we know how important that is when we look at the state of Michigan and the diversity of our agriculture. So we're going to share a little bit of information with you about farm markets, and we're going to talk about what you can do and how you can really take advantage of the opportunities that we have out there in the state. And with me to do that, I have Amy Laper, and she is with Anderson & Girls. So we're going to talk a little bit specifically about what they do at their operation and really give you an idea of the diversity of farm markets that we have here in our state. Then my next guest is Steve DeChaney, and we're going to talk about Saskatoon berries. Certainly probably something a lot of you haven't really heard a lot about. Very exciting news and a wonderful opportunity for us here in the state of Michigan when we look at agriculture. So we're going to talk a little bit about what the berries are. We're going to talk a little bit about opportunities, how to use them, and we're also going to talk about health benefits. Then I'm going to wrap the show up with a great recipe for cherry cobbler. Folks, it's going to be a great show. Stay tuned, and we'll be back with our first guest right after the Michigan Farm and Garden Fact of the Week.
It's time for the Michigan Farm and Garden Fact of the Week.
Cherries are available year-round as dried, frozen, and juice. They are America's superfruit. They're a homegrown and colorful way to reap the health-promoting properties of antioxidants. For more information, go to choosecherries.com. And welcome back. We are back with Phil Corson, Cherry Marketing Institute. Phil, it's good to have you back and have you have something to talk about.
Hey, Jody, thanks for the invitation to be here. You know how much I like to do this show. It's just a great show. And secondly, this is a show about fruits. I mean,
there you go.
It doesn't get any better than that. And you know, when you think about Michigan and you think about what Michigan has to offer people that visit the state, you know, we've got a robust fruit industry. They're all connected with health benefits. You know, this is really special, and so thanks for putting this show together, and thanks for the opportunity to be here today.
Well, no problem, and I appreciate it and appreciate the guests, and I think it's so important that we celebrate that diversity that we have in the state and the awesome opportunities other folks don't have to have this wonderful fruit.
Yeah, when you look at our industry, you know, last year we harvested 11.5 million pounds. We have capacity for about 275 million pounds. And so for this year, you know, we're kind of back in the game. We've got a national forecast number of 275 million pounds, and we'll probably pick a little bit long. Actually, the fruit is really coming off nicely this year. The weather has really cooperated well. Southwest Michigan, we're just about done with harvest down there. And really just getting started in West Central Michigan. Fruit's relatively small, a little bit smaller, which is actually good. They didn't get quite as much rain in West Central Michigan, so the fruit is firm. And in our case, we're trying to pit all of that fruit, so we like smaller, firmer fruit versus really big, soft fruit. So we're about ready to start harvest in Northwest Michigan by the end of next week with tart cherries, and sweet cherry harvest, of course, is underway right now.
It's a lot's going on with the industry.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and but the cool message for our state is we're back in full swing.
Good.
Working hard to really try to recapture a lot of the markets that we lost last year, and some of those markets lost to imported products, some of those markets lost to competitors. So we'll be back in a pretty aggressive way, trying to find our way back into the marketplace and to deliver to consumers the best fruit that we grow.
Well, and I think that's important that you say that because, a lot of times I don't think people really even think about the marketing side
Right.
and how do you get back into the market. Once
Yeah.
you've been there, you dominated, then you're gone. It
Yeah.
can be a little tricky.
Yeah, it's a lot of hard work, and it's not a given that you're going to get those markets back. In our case, we're an ingredient in a lot of other products. So, people that manufactured pies would blend other fruits with those pies. In some cases, we were using foreign product produced in Poland. And so to get back on the shelf, we've got two strategies. One is to get product on the shelf first, and then pull the product off the shelf once we get it on. So it's a push-pull type strategy, and our hope is that we can recapture a lot of those markets very quickly. When you think about trail mixes and dried cherries, a lot of the products that are really growing fast for us, it's easy to blend them with something else, and if you hit on a really nice blend in the year when we don't have cherries, then it becomes a challenge to get that space back.
Well, and certainly, always things going on, always opportunities in that marketplace. And I know you guys too have looked so much at the international markets and all those opportunities.
Right.
And like you said, it's not just a turn on the switch. And I think, you have the good story talking about the superfruit, but it's not easy.
Yeah, our international markets in particular, those markets are built on juice and dried cherries. And last year we didn't have the ability to deliver a lot of those products. In some cases, we were able to hold some of those markets together. But in other cases, we basically took a year off and took a leave of absence, and now we're back, and we want to get back on shelf in those markets. In the UK in general this year, we're really reaching out into some different areas. We've really focused on running events to a large extent. Yeah. Now we're into more running and cycling. Things that are connected with muscle recovery that really work well for us, and we've got a lot of science that supports that. And so we use that as kind of our entry into that market. And so our hope is to be back up and running this year full speed in both of those countries.
Well, and kind of as you talk about that, and certainly there's a lot to celebrate, a lot to look forward to. You guys just wrapped up the Cherry Festival, which is always a wonderful, wonderful time.
Oh yeah, we last week was National Cherry Festival, ran over the 4th of July, and record numbers, unbelievable numbers. And we also had events out at the research station that the growers own up north, and had a lot of activities for the kids throughout the week. Over 2,200 visitors visited the research station, took the tours, participated. And so it was a really neat opportunity for us to showcase our industry and talk about what the cherry industry is all about, and then give consumers a chance to taste all of the different kinds of products that we grow today. So really a neat opportunity for our industry. This year, our chairman of the board was Cherry Industry Person of the Year. So we recognized him last week, and he had a great time at the festival all week long with his family. And Randy Wilming's a grower from Southwest Michigan, 5th generation fruit grower, living in the same house that his grandfather 5 generations ago lived in and started when he planted his first cherry trees. So kind of a neat opportunity for us to really step back and recognize some of the really outstanding industry leaders. And this year's Industry Person of the Year, Randy Wilming. So he's running around telling everybody he's the real cherry man. He's the real deal, which is really great. It's funny.
You can share a little, I guess.
Yeah,
huh?
exactly.
Well, and one of the things too, I know, and when I do the recipe later, I'll talk about that too. But when I look for commodity stuff, you guys and your website, just to learn what's up and to learn the different health benefits and all the recipes, you guys have done a wonderful job.
Oh, thank you, Jody. We work really hard on that website. Our goal is to make sure that we have information that's current and relevant and interesting, and to a large extent, we're really pleased with how that's worked for us. It's a way for us to get information out very quickly and support our industry and our producers in the industry. So we can, if you have a question, many times you can go to the website and it's right there. And so that's our hope, is that instead of having to call our office and for us to have to mail something out, we really want to make it easy and convenient for consumers to be able to get information quickly.
Great. Well, Phil, thank you. We appreciate it.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you, Jody.
Keep up the good work and get back into those markets. How's that?
You got it. Thank you.
Thanks. Folks, certainly we know how important agriculture is to our state. We certainly know the importance of the fruit crops that we have here. I also think it's important. We heard about fifth-generation farmers. We talk about the festival. We talk about the crop. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes to get those products to market, to do the research to find the new products. We want to make sure you also remember those people that do it, and you get out there and you join the celebration. Stay tuned. We'll be back right after this message.
The Cherry Marketing Institute wants you to know about tart cherries. Cherry's red color comes from powerful antioxidants. Available year-round, it's easy to incorporate cherries into your daily diet. Visit choosecherries.com.
Michigan's 1,000 apple growers take pride in producing delicious apples from one generation to the next. From the Great Lakes come great flavors. Look for locally grown Michigan apples.
Have Jody speak at your next agricultural event. Go to jodylive.com.
And welcome back. We are back with Amy Laper of Anderson and Girls. Amy, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
It's good to have you here in Farm Market Month celebration. Hey, I've heard all the wonderful things you guys do. It just makes sense to kind of be here and celebrate. So it's a good way to get started.
Yeah, yes.
Well, Amy, I'm going to have you start and tell us a little bit about yourself and the operation.
Okay. In 1970, my father, Terry Anderson, started working on the farm for Orville Tribune. He was pruning apple trees, and they had a small farm market. My parents raised all three of us girls there. We were open from August till October in the few months. And when the last girl was born, Carmen, my dad called my grandpa and said, "You can leave Ann Girls on the truck because we've had another girl." So since then, we've developed into a farm market and a destination. We've added on to our farm market in 1996 and went up and out. Just the traffic in there was wonderful, and it's been a great experience. In 2000, we added the animals. We started out with just a few goats, and we now have zebras and camels and kangaroos and all that good stuff. In 2008, we put in an ice cream shop. And on the ice cream shop, you can come, you can have ice cream, you can have lunch, you can enjoy the whole day on our farm. So there's a lot to do. They showed the picture of the goats. That's the most popular thing. The kids really love the goats. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I love too the exotics too, and just getting a little bit of everything. I mean, you could certainly, I have a little one, and we could spend the day petting animals and seeing them all.
Yep, and visit the farm market. We have fresh baked goods. Every day we make donuts, pies, breads, and all the fruits that are in season. So right now we have the raspberries, the cherries, and blueberries are in season. So.
They look beautiful. And those raspberries are gigantic. They look absolutely wonderful. Well, and I think that's one thing, we always talk on the show and we talk about farm markets and Farm Market Month, but if folks really haven't had the opportunity to get out, I mean, it really is such an experience.
Yes, yes. A lot of people are not like us, but there is a lot of farm markets out there where you can buy fresh fruits and vegetables. We encourage you to come to our farm because you can spend the whole day and have a good time. So.
Well, and certainly when we look, I mean, I think, and Phil mentioned it too in his interview, to be from Michigan and to have all these wonderful fruits. Let's talk a little bit about what we can find now, but also what's coming up. So folks make sure, every year's a little different. We want to make sure they get it on their calendar and know when they need to come.
Yep. Right now, the raspberries, cherries, blueberries are in season. We will probably start peaches in about a week. And then we will go into our apple season. Fall is the busiest time on our farm market because not only do we have lots of apples, we press our own apple cider. We do camel rides and pony rides and all the fun stuff that you like to do on the farm on Saturdays and Sundays in September and October. So there's lots going on. So.
Well, and a neat opportunity if folks haven't had the chance, and we get further and further away from the farm, just to be able to get out and to be able to see, if you've not seen the cider press and those activities, Very, very cool. And especially, I have to say, I'm one of those that loves like my nice fresh donut with my cider. You can't beat that.
One of the most popular things at our farm market is we do cider slushes. So we put our apple cider into our slush machine in the fall, and we'll start pressing cider Labor Day weekend is our first pressing.
Oh, wow.
So, yep, coming fast.
Well, and I think too for folks to realize, you know, being from Michigan, you have this great bounty. It is an awesome opportunity to get out there. You know, some are you pick, some you can go buy it already picked, but it's also a great time to preserve and to put things up so you can have this, especially blueberries are so easy year round.
Yep. Yep, it's blueberries are a good antioxidant, and it's just a nice to have fresh fruits and vegetables on the table. So,
Well, and I know a lot of you guys work together. You have different directories, different information, and we'll put some information up at the end of the interview, so folks can really check to see for pumpkins and gourds and all of that kind of stuff to be able to get out and really experience ag on the farm.
yeah, the Michigan Farm Fun website is really good if you're not in our area, but you can, there's a lot of farm markets in the state of Michigan that people are welcome to come visit and enjoy the farm life as a family. Don't forget the kids.
And I think that's so important. Great opportunities, get out there. We'll be looking for our peaches, we'll be looking for our apples, moving on into pumpkins.
Yes.
To me, it's getting to be that favorite food time of year.
It's a fun time of the year.
Good.
It's busy.
Good. Well, Amy, thank you so much.
Yep.
We appreciate it.
Yep, thanks for
And
having me.
We will come out, we'll get to our farm market, and we'll keep that celebration going. How's that?
Sounds good.
Folks, if you haven't had the opportunity, we will give you the website. Go out there, learn a little bit more about Michigan agriculture. Get out there to your farm market. There's nothing, if you haven't had the family experience, like getting everyone out there, doing some picking, experience if you have the petting zoo, doing some of the hay rides. It's just a great time to get out there, learn more about agriculture, and also you get to eat a little bit of the bounty of what you pick or what you find. Stay tuned. We'll be back right after this message.
This is the fast track to more jobs and America's energy independence. Advanced performance is here now. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
And welcome back. We are back with Steve DeCini. Steve, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Jody. It's nice to meet you. I really enjoy watching your show.
Well, thank you. I appreciated the email that said, hey, there's this great topic we haven't talked about yet. And I'm always excited to learn something new. And Saskatoon berries sounded very, very interesting.
Yeah, they are relatively new to the area. The reason that people haven't seen them thus far is because it takes a while for them to start producing fruit.
Well, and I thought this was so interesting, and you have a couple different titles working with the organization and the farm. I'm going to have you start and tell us a little bit about the farm, and then we'll talk about the organization, and then we're going to talk about the fruit.
Okay, the farm, I basically got started. I'm a custom cabinet maker. I do woodworking. I've done it all my life, and a few years back when the economy got slow, I thought, I need to figure out something else to do here. I have a large yard, and I mow it all the time, and the grass isn't making me any money. So I thought I wanted to grow blueberries, and the more I learned about them, the more I thought that wasn't the right crop that I should be growing. So I was put in touch with Steve Fouch at the MSU Extension office in Benzie, and he told me about these Saskatoon things, which I was really curious about and thought they were interesting. So I started growing Saskatoons, and the plant stock at the time was not real good quality, so I also saw a need for a local supplier of quality and local grown plant stock.
Very cool. I like that. I love when people have that innovation of if there's a need, you know, just like when we talked with Amy, growing it, looking at adding the petting farm, looking at getting your own stock.
Right.
Very, very good and very important to the state,
Yep.
I think.
Yep. I really think that the Saskatoons do have something to offer in the future as a very viable crop in Michigan. We're certainly not looking to get rid of cherries or apples, but I think there's a big future for Saskatoons.
Well, and I think that's such a great fit here, looking at our diversity, all the different opportunities. Yeah. Well, and I think that's probably too why you looked at getting involved with this new organization that is really looking at the Saskatoons.
Right. The organization was formed by a group of local growers around the Traverse City area. We saw a need to, we thought we would have more power in numbers, and we thought that there was really a need for us to work together and communicate and bring awareness to the Saskatoon industry and move forward with that. We work on a $50 annual membership fee. It's all volunteer work and nobody is paid, and our member numbers are growing, and it's working out quite well. We have to be careful that we don't overmarket the fruit because we're already tight with supply meeting demand. So if we overmarket it and everybody's going to want to rush out and get this amazing fruit, they're going to be upset when they can't get it.
Well, and we always have, but that's a good challenge to have.
You're right.
To grow those markets and have those market opportunities.
Absolutely.
And I know you have some beautiful pictures too, just looking at the fruit, and we certainly want to learn a little bit more about it too, because it just seems to have such great opportunities.
It sure does. It is a very cold hardy plant. It's not as soil specific as the blueberries are. It'll grow in a 5.5 to 7.5 pH. It likes prefers sandy loam soil, well-drained soil. It grows similar to a blueberry bush. The berries look similar to blueberries, and there's some confusion that they are related to blueberries, but they're not. They're actually related to apples and the rose family. It is important when you're starting your plantings to irrigate. I like to mulch heavily. The fruit itself has a pH of 3.7 to 4.2, somewhere in there. It varies, upon irrigation and that kind of stuff. The bricks content is somewhere between 17 and 22%, so it does possibly have some future for some good wines. I personally think it would make a very good brandy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, and I know too, when you look at it, we talk about fruits and the opportunities, and I know we have a graphic that kind of even shows some of the health benefits, and it's just so neat to have those opportunities with the antioxidant qualities, especially when we look at all the fruit we have.
Yeah, they really do rate very high with the antioxidant qualities. Also, there are a number of medicinal uses for the fruit. It's a very functional fruit, and I think it really holds a good future for nutraceuticals. The Indians and the early settlers used to use all parts of the plants for medicinal purposes. Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
And I think, we talked about on the show before too, to really kind of find something like this that just hasn't really been focused on that much, and then start to find all those different uses and all those different opportunities. It's pretty exciting.
It is very exciting.
So
Yes.
I have to say, your emails are very exciting, but talking to you, it gets you all jazzed up. Folks are going to want to run out and try their Saskatoons.
Yeah, it's exciting to be a part of something that is this big and is moving forward. Absolutely.
Well, and when we look at uses, you brought some here. I know we also have some pictures, but all the different things you can do, it's so versatile.
It sure is. Pies, jams, wines, jellies, sauces. There's been a number of sauces put on glazes. This recipe here is a real easy one. It's basically just take some jam, mix it in with some cream cheese, some chopped up green onions, and you have a nice cracker dip. Has the sweet, salty effect. It's really good, especially on a hot summer day like today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, haven't we been taking a beating?
Yeah.
So, and healthy, too, and I like the easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and here, too, it looks like you have a pie for us.
The pie, yep, and I cheat on the crust. I buy the frozen,
It's okay.
I take the easy way out, yeah. And I also make fruit leather with it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there are so many opportunities for this fruit and so many uses.
Well, I'm just going to grab a couple of these and take a look at these.
Sure.
Very, very interesting.
You could probably set that on a shelf and a year later go back to it and it would still be fresh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I keep it in my truck all the time.
Well, and certainly too, I know we talked different opportunities, and there is a need out there for other folks who are interested that would like to start growing.
Yeah, there are really a ton of opportunities out there right now. It's really a wide open market. You know, we need processors, we need growers, we need you know, harvesters and equipment, and so there really is a lot of opportunity out there for a niche market for different individuals. Yeah.
Well, and I know I have websites and information so folks can go ahead and learn more. And also too, if there are consumers out there that say, hey, I would like to try those, what do they do? How do they get some?
Well, there are a company that is going to start distributing them now. I'm not sure exactly where they're going to be distributed. Word has it that they may end up down around the Detroit market, but yeah, like I say too, the supply is not really meeting the demand right now, but there are definitely opportunities out there for growers. They can call me or they can go to the website. The website is set up really cool. There's a directory on there so that you can click on if you want to find a U-Pick operation or a grower or a nursery or whatever, you just click on that, and if you want to find it within a 100 or 500 mile radius of you, it'll put a pin on the map for you. So that works out really well.
Those are always cool. I always like those. And a great opportunity, especially for folks to get out, experience more agriculture, and try a Saskatoon.
Sure. Yep.
Very easy.
Yep.
Good.
Very good stuff.
Good. Well, Steve,
Yeah.
we appreciate it. I love
sure.
your
That's fun,
energy and
Jody.
enthusiasm and great opportunities. Folks, if you haven't had the chance, get on the website, learn a little bit more, but it's very exciting as we look at a new crop, a new fruit really taking off here in the state. Stay tuned. I'll be back right after this message.
This chicken is beak over claw for meal made from U.S. soybeans. Now, one chicken may not be too much to cluck about, but suppose we add another, and another, and another. Before long, you've got billions of hungry customers around the world all clamoring for the same thing, our soybeans. Learn more about the billion-dollar appetite of animal agriculture at BeyondTheElevator.com. Brought to you by America's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
And welcome back. Folks, certainly some great information for you this morning, looking at the opportunities here in our state, looking at the fruit powerhouse industry that we have here in the state. And I have to tell you, as Steve was taking that pie off the table, I accidentally put my finger into it. It's absolutely wonderful. So lots of opportunities to get out there, get some of that crop, give it a try. Also, lots of great recipes for some of those fruits that we have here in the state that are very traditional that we're used to having on the table. This is for a cherry cobbler. And I know we mentioned it when Phil was here, but if you are looking for a cherry recipe, choosecherries.com. You can click right onto the recipes. I go there all the time. You can pick beverages, you can pick desserts, you name the category, there's something there. Very, very easy. And if you are an athlete and you do like your smoothies, some really neat ideas of things that you can do for smoothies. To make this recipe very easy, basically you're gonna take cherry pie filling, warm it up, put it in the oven, let that oven preheat with those cherries in there. Then you're gonna go ahead and make that biscuit mix. And while the filling for the pie is still warm, you're gonna plop that biscuit mix on top. Make sure you get the spoonfuls onto that warm pie filling, put that into the oven, and you're gonna bake it about 18 to 20 minutes. Certainly a couple more ingredients you can add there, but you can look at a recipe like this. Certainly you can look at your different fruits. You can look at your Saskatoons. You can look at your blueberries. Lots of different opportunities here for us in Michigan. If you would like to try this recipe, as always, you can visit us online at MichiganFarmandGarden.com or write to Michigan Farm and Garden Recipes, Box 461, Williamston, Michigan 48895, and we'll go ahead and we will get this recipe out to you. Folks, have an absolutely wonderful week. I will see you back here next weekend on Michigan Farm and Garden, and we will be airing some segments that we got at Ag Expo. See you back next weekend. Bye-bye.